Hello and welcome, I'm Dante.
And I'm Kers.
From Low Manor. With the feedback we received from our video on the lore and Easter eggs on the Winter Wonderland map, we figured it might be an idea to go over the lore behind all of the full-time maps. Before diving in one by one with all the detail though, we wanted to give you a brief overview of all 14 maps and where they fit in the world. So let's get to it. With there being so many maps at our disposal, it's necessary to break them up a bit. As such, we'll be going through them by the setting of the map, first the cities, then the headquarters, followed by the facilities before finally reaching those awkward maps that don't fit into our nice tidy categories.
Cities act as the hearts of culture and civilization in most countries, be that in the real world or in Overwatch. And in our in-game travels we visit 6, arguably 7 depending on your outlook. Many of them offer different insights into how the world is functioning in a post-Overwatch climate, and we see conflict, power grabs, and even a flicker of peace as we go through them. As it's where we left off with the winter video, King's Row is the perfect starting point. Nestled in the heart of London, capital city of England, these streets witnessed the assassination of Takata Mondata at the hands of Widowmaker, and have erupted into a hotbed of human-omnic conflict ever since. Luckily for the time being, peace appears to have broken out to celebrate the winter season, but it does feel like tensions are always bubbling away under the surface. The other location to receive some winter love is Hanamura. Outside of the holiday season, the Japanese settlement of Hanamura has a beautiful backdrop of the peaceful city and snow-covered mountains. This is merely a thin veneer, however, hiding a criminal underbelly that has plagued the region for decades. It is, after all, the home of the infamous Shimada clan. At their peak, they were one of the largest criminal organisations in the world, sitting at the centre of a vast web of drugs trading and weapons proliferation. It has been many years since they were supposedly destroyed by Genji, but as Overwatch fell, they have been slowly rebuilding their empire. From the blossoming monastery of Hanamura to the city of harmony, Numbani. This beacon of cohabitation lies on the west coast of Africa and stands as the greatest example of human and omnic cooperation in the world. Beyond that, it sits at the heart of what could be the next chapter of Overwatch's story, Doomfist. From Saviour to Scourge to Successor, the city has been irrevocably intertwined with the title since the end of the Omnic Crisis, and with the Scourge continuing to threaten the Utopia even now, will we soon see another chapter in this tale?
While these 3 previous locations had their bubbling tensions or conflicts vaguely near the surface, our next city in Hollywood is at a glance much more light-hearted, taking place amongst the sets of Goldshire Studios. We get a rare glimpse into the entertainment business in a post-Omnic Crisis world. Even here though, all is not as it should be. With acclaimed Omnic director, Halfred Glitchbot forced to shelter in his limo to avoid escalating any Omnic sentiment. The show must go on however, with multiple film sets apparent throughout. Hollywood is also home to a huge number of Easter eggs linking it to the wider Blizzard universe, which we will touch on in full when we do the full tour video. Up next is actually a place we've spoken about a lot recently, with the lengthy Sombra ARG and its finale at BlizzCon last month, Dorado. Previously a map full of speculation and innuendo over the Los Muertos gang and the shady Lumerico company. Sombra, fortunately for us, has added a lot of depth to the town and how it fits into the world of Overwatch. Home to Lumerico Power Plant, this one acting as the last piece in a chain of them stretching across Mexico. Dorado is paraded as the pinnacle of progress. Lumerico masks an underbelly of corruption that sits deep within the Mexican government however, with the recent events leaving it a hair's breadth away from breaking through to the surface. The final city we're going to touch on in this section is the unnamed city surrounding Lijiang Tower, headquarters of Lusheng Interstellar, part of China's state-of-the-art space industry. Lusheng are famous for helping to push the boundaries of space exploration, especially during the golden age of Overwatch, with projects such as the Horizon Lunar Colony and the Interstellar Journey space station. Without them, we wouldn't have Winston.
There is inevitably a great deal of crossover between the city maps and the headquarters of some of the Overwatch universe's most renowned organisations, for both good and ill. Some of these we've already mentioned via their city map, from Hanamura and the Shimada, through to Dorado and Lumerico, culminating in Lucheng and Lijiang Tower. Some of the biggest names in the Overwatch world dominate the cities in which they exist. Others are more isolated, with their bases being built specifically for them, and taking on their character from the get-go. Of our global entities here, Lucheng are not the only company to be pushing technology. Volskaya Industries sits at the forefront of Russia's Omnic defence, and at the cutting edge of military technology. Famed creators of the Sviatogor to protect Russia in the original Omnic Crisis, their innovations went a long way to allowing Russia to defeat the Omnic forces without outside assistance. With the second crisis raging, new versions of mech suits are being developed that wield larger versions of Zarya's particle accelerator cannon. There is a secret behind them that weighs heavily on the company's leader Katya. Will it be enough to tumble her empire and reduce this map to ruin? Far away from the titans of industry and criminal gangs lies Eichenwald, situated in the Black Forest in southwest Germany, not too far from the city of Stuttgart. Fallen silent now and slowly being absorbed by the nature around it, Eichenwald was the legendary home of the Crusaders, the knightly order Reinhardt once belonged to. Tragically, they were all but extinguished during the Omnic crisis, giving their lives to give hope to others. The armour of their leader, Balderic von Adler, still remains seated in the throne room, a permanent reminder of the lives lost for the cause. The final map in this section is just as tranquil, but for very different reasons, especially so when contrasted against the overall backdrop of the Overwatch universe. Nepal as a map rests upon the peaks of the Himalayas, hiding the secluded home of the Shambhali, Omnic monks searching for their true meaning, believing in newfound souls within Omnics as a result of their three fort. Possibly the most positive and peaceful faction in Overwatch, they spend their time between helping others come to terms with themselves and dedicating themselves to the mysteries of their existence. Nothing shows this better than Zenyatta's mentorship of Genji in this monastery, a man who in many ways blurs the line between human and Omnic. Having recently lost their leader, who can say what the fate of their Shambhali will be?
Beyond this, we have maps built upon unique outposts of these larger organisations. Not headquarters, but important nevertheless. Temple of Anubis on the Giza Plateau is the only one of these not originally built by Overwatch back in its heyday, but instead acts as a prison operated by Helix Securities, a defence company able to call on Freya Amari, Farah, from amongst their employees. Housed within is a potential clue as to what made the Omnic crisis so costly: a god AI, apparently able to overthrow the minds of nearby Omnics and turn them into drones. These special AI seem catastrophically powerful, should they be offered the opportunity. Why keep something so dangerous around? Why not simply destroy it? For the good of Giza and the rest of the world, let us hope Helix continue to be up to the task. A facility with a much less serious calling, Watchpoint Gibraltar winds its way through the great rock that stands watch over the entrance to the Mediterranean, a place we've seen multiple times in additional media. This old communications station is where Winston calls home, his attempt at reforming Overwatch taking its first few faltering steps here. The payload we as players push to the end is a satellite allowing the former Overwatch communications network to be re-established. But with Overwatch outlawed by the Petrus Act, we are yet to see what long-term repercussions this could have. Although not as well known as Gibraltar, Eco Point Antarctica is the newest facility to join the map pool. This now ruined and desolate station served as home to May in her time researching for Overwatch before the fall, as well as her unexpected tomb for many years, when the very anomaly her and her team were investigating overwhelmed them. From the failed stasis pods of her co-workers to the notes left around the station, this map hides its story well. But this is one of the only true insights we have into the life and character of Mei Ling Zhao.
As always with lists, there are some that just don't fit in any category. They do, however, still remain important to the world of Overwatch for a number of reasons. Likely situated in New Mexico or one of its neighbouring states, Route 66 is the staging ground to an elaborate heist by the Deadlock Gang, who appear to have appropriated almost every part of this map to act as their base of operations. Able to count Jesse McCree amongst their former members, even with his capture and subsequent betrayal to Overwatch, the gang continue to trade weapons and military hardware across America. With the fall of Overwatch, their scope has grown, with warehouses of illegal tech piling up, ready to be sold to the highest bidder. Last but not least is the bright Greek island of Illios, a lore unto itself in this otherwise organised list of locations. There is little concrete knowledge on this map, or what makes it so important to friend and foe alike, but it is almost certainly hiding some secrets not yet revealed. With only a brief mention of Talon's hunt for relics to go on, for now this just remains a great holiday destination, but you can be sure we'll be putting on our speculation hats for this one.
Thanks for watching this episode. We have a lot of maps to cover, so if there are any you want us to cover first, let us know in the comment section below. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you go check out Kurz's Comic Watch on Reflections here. So much lore dropped in those 12 pages. As always, please hit that like button if you liked this vid, subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that little bell if you want notifications on our new content. You can check out one of our other videos by clicking on the screen now, but until next time, I've been Dante.
And I've been Kurz. Thanks for watching.